parentheses, which is only one element, just a element called cat. The other one, we have ACE, which is we have 3 different elements, which is we can arrange them. The cat is just one element, okay? So number 19, not 19, 18, they ask you to find a number proper subset for this item, which is reminder to find a number proper subset, you need to know to find the number of subset, which is to find the number of subset is 2 to the n power. The n here is how many elements we have, which is in this case, we have 6 different elements, which is 2 to the 6th power, which is 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, 6 times, which is 64 subset. And because the question asks you for the number proper subset, you take 64 minus 1 to give you 63. Okay, so that's what we have in terms of 18. Now, 19 is not combination, permutation, or fundamental counting principle, ladies and gentlemen. This one here, they basically ask you how many ways can you kind of order your spaghetti together with the tomato sauce, right? They say you can order some, all or none. You can just buy pasta with tomato sauce by itself, right? Which is, looking at this thing here, you have to ask yourself how many ingredients we have, which is again, onion, garlic, carrot, broccoli, mushroom, zucchini, and green pepper. That's 7 possible choice, which is that 7 possible choice, which is that is your 7 different elements, which is that's your, is the same idea that's your n, which is it's the same as 2 raised to the 7th power, which is 2 raised to the 7th power will give you 2 times 2 times 2 will give you 128. Meaning there are 128 possible pasta with tomato sauce that you can order with garlic, onion, and so on and so forth. Okay, there are 128 different ways to order this thing. So looking at this thing here, which is again, now let's go back to the most important thing that I want to cover, which is this item here. We still have a few more, but we see where to go from there, from here, I guess. Looking at this thing here, number 20, they ask you if n of a is equal to 9. Which is, what is n of a? Reminder, n of a meaning how many elements inside A, which is in this case, there are 9 elements in A. They ask you how many proper subset, which is reminder to find the number of proper subset. We need to know, find the number of subset, which is 2 to the n minus 1. And again, whoever asks why minus 1, remember 1 is the actual set, right? The proper subset, the 2 set cannot be equal to each other. So again, in this case, we have 9, which is 2 to the 9 power, which give me 512. 512 minus 1, we will have 511 proper subset. Okay, so let's take a look at 21, which is again, they give you the universal set 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A, B, C, D, E, and they ask you to use the roster method and find the complement set, which is again, what is the complement of Q? The complement of Q is reminder to find a complement, right? To find a complement of set, basically you go into your universal set, and you ask yourself, what can you throw out? Which is whatever in Q, I throw out this item here, I throw out this item here, I throw out this item here, which is whatever left from the universal set. Whatever left from the universal set, we know that is in my Q complement, which is again the item inside the universal but outside of Q. So again, this is what we go in, which is basically ask ourselves what we have in terms of the item, and then we just cross them out as we go in terms of that. Okay, so looking at this number 22, this is pretty much the same question I think I give you on the study guide, and it's the same exact question on your test. The only thing on your test is I changed the item instead of Q or S, I think I changed it to 1, 2, 3, A, B, C or something like that. But let's take a look at this thing here. If you remember, we told you in class that you can, because we know that this is what we need to looking for, we need to find A intersection with B prime, A union C prime on the outside, A union B intersection C, and so on and so forth. Might as well just create or find A prime, B prime, C prime, right? To find that item, you can just cross out what A and write in A prime, cross out what in B, write B prime, and so on and so forth. Or you can construct your chapter, right? Not the truth table, your chapter 2, you can construct your Venn diagram. right? So how do we construct the Venn diagram? And again, let me construct the Venn diagram, which is reminder to construct the Venn diagram, we have to start from the inside, right? What does A, B, and C, what do A, B, and C have in common, which is everybody see that Y is all in A, B, and C. And now once I start in A, B, and C, now I want to start, I go up, which is what is in A and also in B, which is except Y. Do you agree that Q and S? Q and S is in B and also in A. And I go down, which is B. Does B and C share? Which is, do you agree that B and C, they share the Z? And then lastly, do you agree that W is in A and also in C? So basically, I go across, which is again, we start in center and we just deduct out, right? And now inside A, what is in A that we have not used, which is we have a U that we have not used. And there's nothing in B, right? We use the Q, S, Y, and Z. So again, what is left over in C, which is the V and the X. And once we have this thing here, do you agree that we have not used the R and the T from our universal set, right? From our universal set here, we have not used it. Don't mistake the universal set up there. This is the universal set we have. So now looking at this thing here, we can do two things, right? You can either do it by hand or look at the Venn diagram, right? So the first thing they ask you is find A intersection B prime. So if you want to A intersection B prime, remember the intersection tell you what does A have in common with B prime, right? Which is, again, you can look at A here, you can look at this A here and B prime here, which is, again, A and B prime, what do they share? Do you agree that they share a U and a W, right? U and W is in A and also in B prime. So if you look at this thing here, you can do it this way. You can look at this item here, or you can say, well, if you look at the Venn diagram, what is in A but outside of B? Which is, do you agree that this is the two item here is inside A but outside of B circle? Everything else is outside of the B circle, but the only two item that is inside A is the U and the V. So again, either way you do it, right? Either way you do it, the answer is U and W, not U and V, sorry. U and W is the item that is inside A and outside of B, right? So again, that's what you can do, which is you can either use the Venn diagram, which is the Venn diagram I have on the other side, or you can use you can work at scratch like this, right? Which is, again, same thing go, which is same thing go in terms of this thing here. What can we do with this case, which is, again, find A union C, the complement. So basically, remember the intersection is what they have in common, and the union tell you take whatever in A, combine that together with whatever in C, right? So again, if you do the union, this is what they tell you is whatever in A, which is, do you agree that whatever in A, this is what in A, put that together with whatever in C, which is everybody see that everything in A and everything in C, which is, again, I put everything together except the R and the T, which is, again, this is what I have. If I union them, if I combine them together, this is what I have is I have Q, S, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. But then again, if they combine them together, now they turn around and they say, thank you very much, but I don't want that. I want the complement of that. Meaning the complement of that, meaning whatever you just find out, I don't want it. Give me what left over from the universal set, which is everybody see that the leftover from the universal set, that is not in A, or in C is the R and the T, which is the complement tell you take this thing here and throw it away, which is everybody see that my answer will be R and T, the complement of A union C, right? So again, you can look at the Venn diagram if you want, or you can do it by hand in the sense of, again, either combine them together and then throw it away, right? So I combine them together, which is I take the A, I put it together with a C, but then they ask me for the complement, so I go in and I throw them away. So that's what I have in terms of that. So